everybody!
Hey!
So we're finally going to film the video where we talk about how we choose our donor and how we got pregnant. So we have decided to
make it a two-part series. And so right now we're going to talk about how we chose our donor and how we asked our donor. Super exciting.
Yeah, well actually it was a journey.
It was.
It wasn't a decision that was made one day to another. I will say like we were talking about it for a year or so.
Yeah, we had different options, so we're going to walk you through what those options were and why we chose to go the route that we went.
So the first option was let's use our brothers. Luckily Morgan and I have brothers. So
it made sense.
It just made sense. So we decided to have the conversation with them. Morgan have 2 brothers.
Yep.
I have 3 brothers. And
everybody gave their thumbs up. They seemed interested and they were on board.
Yeah, all of them were on board.
Yeah. Which was amazing to think about. We have brothers, all of them were on board. But
so we came with the first hiccup, and it was how do you choose between all the brothers?
Without hurting somebody's feelings. How do you choose between brother 1, 2, and 3?
So we thought about the process, how gay couples do it, accumulate both sperms, and they mix it together, and they inseminate with the mix.
So we're like, okay, great, we have the solution to our first hurdle. And then we started talking about the details a bit more with our brothers, and one of them didn't seem comfortable with the idea of Alaya knowing, or our child knowing, who their donor was. He felt like there may be some confusion in their relationship. Am I an uncle? Does this child think I'm something more than that now that they know I'm a donor? So we sensed that discomfort. So then with that hurdle, we moved on to our second option.
That was looking into sperm banks here in Canada. So we found the bank and we started browsing around, and we put some criteria that was important for us, and we went down to one candidate.
Yeah, so to start, here in Canada, it's illegal to pay someone to donate their sperm. So those who are donating to the sperm bank are doing it just because they want to help other people. So people donate for different reasons that inspire them, but the total candidate pool is quite small because money is not on the table here in Canada to be a donor.
So we put the characteristics that we wanted, and they brought us to one person.
And so with that one person, we also found that here in Canada, the donors are anonymous. So we didn't get enough information for us to feel comfortable to move forward. So you would get a little picture of like a quarter of the face, a baby photo, but nothing of like a recent photo.
Yeah. Actually, I think the picture is not just a quarter of the face. I think they take a picture of their face and they cut it. So you can see pictures, but you see one picture is just the eyes, the other picture is just the nose, the other picture is just the mouth. You get the idea, but you don't really see the person.
It was limited information, and we didn't feel comfortable moving forward with that option. So then we went back to the drawing board. What's our next option?
We went and looked into sperm banks in the US, which have a lot, and there are millions of companies, and
so many.
It just got super overwhelming. It was like, at some point, like, okay, but this one has this one has that, and it was like, okay, just too much.
Something about me, I get overwhelmed easily.
Me too.
I shut down.
Yeah, even when we go grocery shopping, I can grocery shopping in 10 minutes.
So then we hit that hurdle and we went back to the drawing board and we're like, do we have any other options?
And luckily, we have a lot of friends. We did have a couple options. People in our life who we really wanted to ask and we knew it was gonna work.
They're really good people. We're lucky to have a couple options.
Yes, we are. We're really lucky. So how we choose the option that we choose.
We really dwindled it down to 2 people we wanted to ask.
Totally, yes.
And then we thought, okay, we can figure out which one we think might be a better match for this donor situation.
Yeah, it was important. Both of them were Latin, both of them were from Venezuela, which was really important for me. And I really wanted this baby to have Latin blood, so he can understand me. And I think the card that made the difference was we want somebody who was in our life, but it wasn't in our everyday life. So, and somebody who understood their role with the baby, which was a donor.
Of course, it was important to us, like I mentioned earlier, that Alaya has if she chooses to and wants to know who the donor is, that is available to her. And so we wanted to make sure that the donor would be comfortable with that. So, yep. I mean, here we are. We had 2 amazing options. Both have amazing values, morals, similarities to us. But really that deciding factor, like you mentioned, was there's one of them who wasn't in our daily life at this time.
Totally. Yes.
So the next step
was asking him. And again, this has been a year. Like, we already have a year thinking and talking, so we were really eager. And everybody in our life were aware that we were looking for a baby. So it was actually the first time I mentioned something to this individual was in a party, I believe. We were in a party, Maureen and I, we were talking about the baby situation the whole day. So I was like really excited about it. It was in my mind 24/7. So we went in this party.
Baby brain.
Totally. We went in this party.
I was not at the party.
Yeah, you were in the party. I was at this point. I have a couple of things at this point, and I remember I was in the terrace with this individual, and I just let it out and I say, I think I didn't even say the whole sentence, and he got it, and he's like, yes, of course. And then like, but wait, think about it. Morgan and I want to talk with you. We want to take you for a nice dinner, and we want to talk the details.
So, what did you say to him?
It was, I don't remember exactly what was the conversation. I remember telling him like, he know that we were close to having a baby. We were thinking about our options, and we really wanted somebody in our life, and
And he picked it up.
He picked it up right away. Like, yeah, I think I didn't say the full sentence at the point. I didn't say like, no, I did. I actually did. I said, we want to go with somebody who we know, and we were thinking that maybe you'd be a good option. It was something like that, along these lines. He was on board from the beginning. He didn't even have any questions. He was like, I want to do it for you guys.
So when you went out there on the terrace, did you have it in your mind that you were going to say something to him, or it just came out naturally?
It came out naturally. I think it's because I say we were thinking and talking about babies the whole day. I have a few drinks, and he was right there. I didn't want to miss the opportunity. We were super eager to make it happen. So it was like, let's roll the deals, because we want to know. We want to know. Well, because at that point we really wanted to start the process, and we needed to know if it's a yes or a no, because we need to look into our options.
Yeah. So I wasn't there for that part. Yeah. But then going home, Alejandra said, I spoke to this individual. He's interested. We're going to go for dinner. So we went that week.
Yeah,
same way. We went for dinner that week.
I think that happened on Saturday and Monday we were having dinner. That's how excited we were.
Yeah. So we went out to an incredible Thai restaurant. We both met him there. Yeah. And I remember feeling giddy.
Yeah, like a first date?
Nervous, like a first date. And this individual never made me feel that way. But it was more like just like, not the individual, it was like the situation. Obviously, I'd never asked someone to be...
Right.
We've never asked someone to be a donor before.
So before we asked him, we prepared ourselves. We made sure that we put in paper everything that we were expecting from him, how we wanted to roll the situation, so he had a good understanding. Like this dinner, it was like a meeting, per se. Like we were selling a project to a business partner.
Yeah. And in the preparation, we needed to make sure we were on the same page.
Absolutely.
I don't think we had any situation where we were not on the same page.
No.
Naturally, we seem to be in the same mindset.
Totally. Yes, yes. That make it way easier too.
So
yes.
that was good that there wasn't any hurdles in that conversation.
So how this conversation went, I think the first thing was we explained to him that we really wanted a family and what was our values. It's important that this individual knew why we wanted a family. It's not like, yeah, we have baby fever, we want a baby. No, like what having a baby meant to us.
Yes.
That's
really important.
Yes, because that made him feel comfortable. We also communicate
that we wanted our child to be able to know who their donor was if they chose to at some point in their life, when they're ready, if they ever want that. And so not all donors are comfortable with that. So we wanted to make sure it was very clear from the beginning. And so we spoke about that at dinner, and he was all about it.
Yeah. He was open to it. He also said that, you know what, if he never have child, it will be amazing to have his kids around. That's the way he was looking at it.
Mm-hmm. And he understood too. He said, you'll never be in a parent role for this individual.
Yeah.
You will be, obviously you're a family friend, you would be an uncle, you would be you'd be an incredible,
a fun uncle.
Role model, fun uncle.
Absolutely.
And the donor, if they choose to know, but like fatherhood, parenthood is not in the cards ever. What else did we talk about?
How was the process, what it needed to be done.
Yes.
And at that point we're going to talk a little bit more about this in the next video, but at that point, we thought we were going to do all of this through the clinic. So the first thing that needed to be done, it was an STD test.
HIV test.
And we're going to go into details in the next video. So we talk about it, what the steps to go next, and he needed to go all these different tests that we needed to bring to the clinic, and how we start. And he's like, okay, let me know what to do, how I going to do it. And he was incredible. I cannot thank him enough. He did all the appointments by himself with his family doctor here in Canada. Mm-hmm. We support him economically if something needed to be paid.
So from a donor's perspective, there's definitely a time commitment.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah.
But one thing we made clear as well is that we were going to have a legal agreement. And obviously we would take care of that, and we would pay for his lawyer as well. And so this is what we discussed. We were basically laying down, making sure we're all on the same page while we were at dinner so that we could move forward with the next step, which was to contact a lawyer and lay it out in a contract, make sure that he has his own legal representation, and that's taken care of on that end.
Yeah. And from that dinner, we left the dinner, we already dates, and he's gonna talk with the doctor. It was like, okay, next week I'm gonna go to my family doctor. As soon as they give me the requisition, I do the test. Like, we're already planning at that point.
Yeah, the ball was rolling.
Yeah, and that's how we choose our donor.